All right, let's dive in. We're about to connect the dots between the absolute basics of our digital world and a huge ethical crisis that's shaking up science itself. It's a story of how our need for order led us to build a tool so powerful it's actually making us question what's real and what's not.
So, how in the world do you get from something as simple as a digital shopping list to a full-blown crisis in scientific research? I know, it sounds like a massive leap, right? But the line between them is actually way more direct than you'd think, and it all starts with the hidden foundation of our digital lives.
To really wrap our heads around AI, we've got to pop the hood and look at what makes our digital world tick. Turns out, it all comes down to one simple, pretty brilliant idea for making order out of complete chaos.
And that idea is called a data structure. Really, all it is a way to store and organize data so a computer can find what it needs, and fast. Every single app on your phone, every website you browse, every massive scientific database, yep, they all depend on this one core concept.
Let's break it down with a super simple example. The stack. It's based on a last-in, first-out principle. Just think about a stack of dinner plates. The last one you put on top is the first one you take off. Your browser's back button, that's a perfect example of a stack in action.
And then you've got the exact opposite, which is called a queue. This one is first in, first out. It's literally like waiting in line for coffee or sending documents to a printer. The first one in the line is the first one to get served. Simple as that.
So look, the big takeaway here is this. Data structures are basically our secret weapon against digital chaos. They take a giant, messy pile of information and whip it into shape, giving it a structure that makes it manageable and useful. They are the bedrock of digital order.
Okay, but this is where things start to get really interesting. Because when you take that simple idea of organization and you scale it up, like way up, to a global scale, you start laying the groundwork for what we now call artificial intelligence.
I love this analogy. If an algorithm is the chef trying to cook a complicated meal, then the data structures are the perfectly organized kitchen pantry, right? The chef can only work their magic if every single ingredient is labeled and exactly where it's supposed to be. One just can't function without the other. And that is exactly how we get to AI. You take those brilliant algorithms, our chefs, and you give them access to a pantry that's almost unimaginably huge. Just massive, perfectly structured sets of data. What you get is a system that can process information faster and on a bigger scale than any human ever could. Now, in the world of science, this is a total game changer. AI can come through mountains of research data, automate boring lab tasks, and find patterns that could lead to mind-blowing discoveries. It really has the power to put scientific progress into overdrive. But, and it's a big but, all that power comes with some pretty serious strings attached.
And that brings us right to the heart of our story. The very tool we designed to create order and find new insights is now unleashing a totally new and maybe even more dangerous kind of chaos right into the world of science.
And here, you can see the dilemma laid out pretty clearly. On one side, you have all this incredible potential, more efficiency, deeper analysis, faster discoveries. But on the other side, you have a whole minefield of ethical problems. Plagiarism, completely made-up text, hidden biases baked into the system, and even faked data and images. Tools like ChatGPT have really forced the issue. All of a sudden, scientific journals are having to ask these really fundamental questions. I mean, if an AI helps write a paper, who's the author? If an AI creates the data, is that data even real? How can we possibly trust the results if they came out of a digital black box?
So faced with this brand new kind of chaos, the entire scientific community is now scrambling to create a new kind of order, a whole new set of ethical guardrails for this incredible technology. So what are they doing? Well, journals are rushing to set new ground rules, and you can see consensus starting to form around three big principles. First, an AI cannot be an author, period. Authorship means you're accountable, and a machine can't do that. Second, the buck stops with the humans. If you use AI, you are 100% responsible for everything it produces. And third, you have to be totally transparent. You must say exactly how and why you used these tools. And to see what that actually looks like, a common rule that's emerging is this. It's okay to use AI as a tool to check your grammar or fix your spelling. But using it to generate the core ideas, to do the analysis, or even to translate the paper, that's often a huge no-no. So a line is being drawn between using AI as a helpful tool and using it as a thinking partner. And that really gets to the core of it, doesn't it? The technology is just a tool.
The real question, the one that always matters, is about the humans who use it and whether we're the ones who are actually in control.
You know, the philosopher Luciano Floridi just nails it when he says that AI models lack intentionality or understanding. Just think about that for a second. These things are just unbelievably good at recognizing and repeating patterns. They don't think, they don't understand the science they're writing about, and that's why they can never, ever be held accountable.
So this responsibility can't just land on one person's shoulders. It has to be a whole chain. The authors need to be upfront and honest. The editors need to be the gatekeepers with crystal clear rules. And the reviewers, well, they have a new job now. They have to be detectives, constantly on the lookout for the ghost in the machine.
Look, at the end of the day, the goal here isn't to stop innovation. Not at all. It's to make absolutely sure that as our technology leaps forward, our sense of ethics and our commitment to scientific truth are keeping right up with it. We have to figure out how to use the power without losing our principles. Which, of course, leaves us with the big, unanswered question. Technology is always going to be a step or two ahead of the rules we make for it. That's just how it works. So the real challenge isn't just about writing policies for the AI we have today. It's about building an ethical mindset that's flexible enough to handle the AIs that are coming tomorrow. So, can our ethics ever really keep up with the pace of technology? That's something to think about.